I want you to take your time and watch this video. In this video, you are going to learn how to increase your 10k to 100k. You are going to learn step by step how to increase or how to grow your money from 10k to 100k. So take your time and watch the video.
Now, let me take you through step by step on how to grow your 10k all the way to 100k. How do you do that? And by the way, as you can see on my board here, I have 3 ways on how you can do that. We do have what we call the slower rate. How you grow that 10,000 to 100,000 at a slower rate. And also we have the moderate rate, and then we have the fastest rate, or how faster can you grow that 10k all the way to 100k. By the way, remember one thing: when it comes to money, it's a matter of numbers, and when it comes to numbers, you have to understand your numbers, because if you do not, then you can't grow it. All right, now listen, the moment we speak about how can you move your 10k, are we together, 10k all the way to 100k, do you know what we simply means? We simply means how can we 10x the 10k that we have? How can we make the 10k that we have 10 times what we have? Are we together? Then you have to look a system that can multiply your money 10 times so that you can reach that particular figure. Truly speaking, that is not a small amount of multiplication, it's quite of a number. Now let's check out on these 3 areas or ways how you can grow your 10k to 100k. Now, whenever we talk about the slower rate, and this is where I want you to understand very well, so that at the end of the day you can pick the one that works for you. When we talk about the slower rate, anything that is slow usually have what we call low risks. Okay, you can grow your what? You can grow your 10k to 100k at a slower rate, and of course that comes with low risk, and probably, most probably, you are less involved. You are less involved, or can we say you are not involved? The money is just working for you, and the magic is still happening out there, and you're doing. For example, I do have a money market fund right now. My money is out there, it is growing. I have not done anything, I have not called anybody, I have not followed up anything. Money is just working for me. Yes, it brings in small amount of money, but truly I am not involved out there. That is the slower rate. And by the way, this is that beautiful method or the procedure that you can use to grow your 10 to 100k, that is usually most of the time reliable, and is the one that usually achieved by the people who know how the wealth is created. Now, what areas can you do, or what exactly can you do with your 10k at this lower rate? And when you talk about this lower rate, we are simply talking above 5 years and above. Are we together? 5 years and above. Now, with this lower rate, of course, we are talking about likes of the MMF. We are talking about the likes of the FIF. We are talking things to do with something like balance fund. We also have, that is the BF. We also have the EF, that is the equity fund, and what have you. And then these are the areas that can help you grow that particular amount of money at a slower rate. But for you to hit what you call the 100k, then you have to understand that it has to go beyond 5 years, because it is a slower rate. Why? If you compare the amount of interest that you're getting here, let's say in MMF you get an average of 12%, FIF you get an average of 14% or 13%, balance fund you get there about, as well as the equity fund and what have you. So you're gonna get that particular amount of money. This one has less risks involved. It will take you more than 5 years for you to achieve that particular target. Again, if you realize, wow, that is too small, too slow, because I really need to get that amount of money, let's say in a year, let's say in 2 years or something like that. If you realize that you need to 10x that amount of money in that period of time, then the slower rate may not necessarily go for you. Again, as much as you want to shorten the period of time, be considerate, because you can actually work for a period of time. For example, if you tell me, hey Joseph, I would like to 10x my money in a week. Oh my goodness, that sounds too good to be true, isn't it? I'm not saying it's not possible, it is very possible. But truly speaking, if I stand here, tell you how to multiply, how to grow your 10k to 100k, truly speaking, to some extent, I will appear as if I'm not even serious or something like that. But now, when you understand that, anyway, I don't want to get that 100k in 5 years time from now, or above 5 years time from now, I would rather work with a certain period of time based on the target that you want. Then now, that's when you move to the next level. This is where now you grow your 10K to 100K will be with below 10 years. This is what we call the moderate rate. This is the moderate rate. The moderate rate, it means that within a period of 5 years, this one was above 5 years, but now within a period of 5 years, you can be able to grow this. And remember, there's a video that I made, and if you haven't watched that video, go check that video when I talked about how I moved my 14,000 all the way to 101K within a period of 9 months. How did I do that? Well, perhaps it may be seem as if I am lucky or maybe I am so smart and something like that. No, what I did, I actually purchased stocks. I purchased stocks. And the good thing is that I purchased the stocks that actually did wonders. I purchased the KPLC, that is Kenya Power and Lighting Company. I also purchased the KenGen and purchased some other shares. In combination, I actually reached myself around that particular figure because basically I bought the KPLC shares at around 1.46. That share, as we speak right now, it's around 7.5 shilling. It simply means that money of mine has actually multiplied by 7 times. If the share moves from 1 shilling all the way to 7 shilling, simply means that money has actually been multiplied by 7 times. If I bought, say, 10 shares at 1,000 shilling, I'm worth now 7,000 because that money has actually been multiplied. Same case happens with KenGen. Now, what does that tell you? You can be able to multiply that. But am I saying that it's guaranteed that if you buy shares within a period of 9 months, it's guaranteed you're gonna move your 10K all the way to 100 or move my 14K like I did to 100K? No, I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to tell you this. When it comes to purchasing of shares, you can actually multiply your money at a faster rate compared to you moving on a slower rate. What do I mean by that? If you compare the nature of stocks or the nature of shares, it's not a low risk. Neither is it a high risk. What we call, it's not a low risk. We call it a moderate to high risk. So stocks, anything that has a little bit a little bit of the risks involved. Also, the returns, they tend also to be high. So if you can get into the world of the stocks, but now listen here, there are two ways on how you earn with stocks. By now, I believe you should know we have what we call the capital gain. That is when the shares can actually grow from, say, like mine grew from 1.4 shillings all the way to 7.5 shillings. That is literally 7 times that money that I had. Now that's what we call the capital gain. Then we also have what we call the dividends. The dividends is simply the money that you get paid after 1 year. That money being there makes money for that company, then the company shares the profit with you, is what we call the dividends. So if your focus is to grow 10 to 100, mostly the dividends won't really be the primary target here. The capital gain will be there. And again, when we talk about 10K, definitely we are not talking about the high cost shares. We are talking mostly the penny stocks and something like that, because with penny stocks you can actually fluctuate. You can move your money from 10 times or something like that within a short period of time. So if you can take the 10K, purchase yourself decent shares, and we talk about decent shares, we have a lot of penny stocks that you can purchase, shares that does not go below or rather above 15 shilling. Shares that doesn't go above 15 shilling, that means that those shares have the likeliness of moving all the way to 30, have the likeliness of moving all the way to 25, has likeliness of such kind of a thing. And of course the vice versa is true. Now, whenever you actually shorten the period of time, the risks are involved. Again, you go back and ask yourself, is this money that I'm going to invest, what does it mean to you? Okay, is it the dear money? Is it the only money that I have? Is it the money that I cannot afford to fix it somewhere because I still need it each and every day? Because you may have two things that you're targeting here. You want to grow your 10K to 100K, and at the same time, you still want to have the accessibility of this cash. Probably you want to use this money to be able to, do something that will be able to pay your bills. Again, understand this 10K, what does it mean to you? What does it do to you? Is it the money that you want to put it somewhere where you can access at any given time, and what have you? Therefore, these two may not really work for you because you don't want to put your money in an investment, especially the first one, and then you keep on withdrawing. You'll never realize its fruits. But if you just let it be, it compounds, then that way you can be able to propagate it all the way from 10 to 100 in a logical way. if you come to this particular point where you buy shares, for instance, and I've picked shares randomly, you can't be able to put that money or be able to invest that money. Then all of a sudden you keep on withdrawing it time to time, keep on withdrawing. Actually, we don't use the term withdrawing. You keep on selling your shares and buying and selling your shares, unless you're a very good trader, whereby you buy, you sell it at a profit, you buy another one, you sell it at a profit, you buy another. Within a 1 year or two or something like that, you can be able to multiply that cash to the levels of whereby you can call it now you've moved your 10K all the way to 100K. Now, the last option here, it is the fastest. Okay, the fastest, it is the rate at which you grow your money. This can even happen within a period of 1 year. Okay, sometimes even below 1 year. Okay, but I've just given it an average of within 1.5 years you can be able to 10x your money. And simply here, this is what we talk the language of business. You cannot speak the language of growing your money from 10 to 100K fastest, then start speaking the language of shares, stocks, and MMF and what have you. These ones will never achieve that. But when you speak the language of business, this is now when you realize that the money can be able to multiply at a very high rate. Let me ask a very simple question. Let's say you are, again, you have to consider the fact, do you have the time to do the business? Because just like a small kid needs attention and a parent to be there each and every time, so the business, so is business. Now, you have your 10K. If you were to take this 10,000 and go start yourself, say, vegetable business, let's say you can decide to vegetable business. Let's say you decide to be selling what we call the exotic vegetables, whereby you go to the farmers, or if you're not the farmers, you can go to the wholesalers in the market, buy those exotic vegetables, go find yourself a very nice, good looking place where people, as they come from the job, they can be able to pass by there. Then of course be decent, be clean, because after all you're dealing with the food. And then of course have yourself, let's say like an umbrella or something like that, just to make sure that you don't expose, because these are perishables. You don't want to sort of put them in an open place whereby the sun is always there throughout the day. You might actually get ahead and your stock can actually be destroyed. Now you can actually decide to do this each and every day, be buying a stock, say, worth 2,500 of vegetables. Trust you not, that vegetable can actually create you an extra 100, or rather 1,000 shilling out of the 2,500. Do you know what that means? At a rate of 2,500, you're making yourself 1,000. Okay, and the whole idea is to grow this 10K all the way to 100K. If you can be able to grow that 1,000 daily, of course, I know you're about to tell me, hey, then I need 100 days. Be logic. At times, not all the time, the profit will be enough. Let's even say you're making as little as 500. You get a product worth 2,500, and then you make yourself 500. Let's say this is what you channel towards an investment. Let's say you be putting this money in an MMF each and every day. Within a period of 200 days, approximately, let's call it a year, because sometimes you may not be working from Sunday to Monday and whatever. Now, let's say approximately 1 year, you have yourself the 100K from the 10K that you had made. Number two, you can decide to use this 10K and go do what we call the peer-to-peer lending. All right, you can go do what we call the peer-to-peer lending. Just approach the market where we have people are doing business, small businesses of course, then decide this money I'm gonna lend it out to people, and I'm simply gonna give them only 2K, only 2K each and every person. Therefore, I will have 5 people whom I will give them each 2,000, and of course I want them to be the guarantees of each other. Now at every rate of 1,000, just like I was doing, I was actually getting 150. That is after 7 days. That means this 1,000, a single 1,000, approximately in a period of 1 month, which is 4 weeks, it is giving me 600, because it's 150 multiplied by 4 is giving me 600. Now that is 1,000. How many 1,000s do I have? I have 10 of them, isn't it? Now if I have 10 of them, it means that I'm having 600 multiplied by 10. Then at the end of the year, if all things goes right, I have myself 6,000. If I have 6,000, it is good to be considered it in the business. You may not get the entire 600. You can decide, let me be getting approximately 4,500 each and every month. Each and every month, then how long do I need to be investing or be saving this money? Let's say you pump in 4,500 each and every month into an investment. Are we together? But now, once you get this 4,500, you don't go and invest it, in a money market for something like that. You plow it back. Now you have extra 4,000. You had 10. You have extra 4,000. You had 10 of it. Now you have 14 of it. Now what happens? You keep on bulging that. So by first month, you're making 4,500. The second month, now it is 600 multiplied by 14. That means it is 600. That's like 7,000 and something. Whatever you get, you plow back. Whatever you get, you plow. By the time you're doing that for the 6th time, oh my goodness, you can just imagine how much you're talking about. Within a year or 1.5 years, you have your 10,000 to 100,000. Now, those are the 3 ways how you can be able to grow the 10,000 to 100,000: slower rate, moderate rate, and fastest way. That's good. Joseph, as always, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment on the comment section, and if you need my services in one way or the other, don't forget to hit that like button. See you there.